These are Gateron's 4 most premium switches ever made, but one of them is a complete game changer because it shouldn't sound or feel the way it does. That switch is the newest addition to the Oil King family, the Heavy Tactile. For context, the original Oil King is a silky smooth linear. The Heavy Tactile takes a complete 180 with its big, sharp tactile bump that makes the switch feel super snappy. The extended spring you see here helps. I find a quick and bouncy return after every keystroke, and the travel distance here is only 3.2mm, which is way shorter than the original Oil King's full 4mm. Typing on the Heavy Tactiles feels way more invigorating than the original linears, which feel a lot more mellow in comparison. But to me, the sound of the switch is the most interesting part. Every Oil King switch uses the same materials, such as the PA66 black nylon top housing. Nylon is a softer, denser plastic that absorbs more high-frequency noise, which is why Oil Kings as a family lean deep and muted. The Heavy Tactiles are the exception. Due to the sharp tactile bump that more forcefully bottoms out as you type, you end up with what I call a deep clack. Take a listen for yourself. The Oil King silent tactiles are like the hybrid between the Heavy Tactiles and the original. To see why that's the case, we need to look at Gateron's innovative silencing mechanism. Look at the stem. You'll see this white rubberized band running along the sides. That's a big departure from what we've seen on this channel before. Most silent switches put silicone dampeners on the bottom of the stem where it strikes the housing. Gateron moved theirs to the sides instead. I find that the bottom out is quiet but without any mushy or marshmallowy feel. So in terms of sound, the silent tactile is closer to the original Oil Kings, but obviously much quieter. On the other hand, the silent tactile uses the same bump as the Heavy Tactile, but the silents are a hair lighter with its 38-gram actuation, which is 12 grams lighter than its non-silent counterpart. This makes the silent linear the closest relative to the original Oil King. With its 42-gram actuation, 3.7mm travel, it is a bit lighter and shorter than the original, but with that same buttery smoothness it's known for. And every Oil King features Gateron's proprietary ink blend on the bottom housing, which they describe as self-lubing. That part matters more than it sounds. Silent switches live or die on smoothness. Because they're silent, any scratchiness in the keystroke becomes really obvious. Thankfully, I find none of that here. Here's the sound test. The original Oil King is the one that started it all, but who is this switch for at this point? In contrast to the Heavy Tactile, the originals sound really deep. Part of why the Heavy Tactile sounds so clacky is that sharp bump combined with how light it is. Your finger hits the bottom with more momentum. On the other hand, the original leans heavy, 55-gram actuation, 65-gram bottom out, which makes it heavier than about 80% of the switches on the market right now. Since these Oil Kings have a full 4mm travel, and because these are linear, I find a softer, more controlled bottom out. This mellow typing feel results in a sound signature that makes the Oil Kings sound muted and thocky. Now, here's how the Oil Kings sound. And now, here are back-to-back sound tests for the switches we talked about today. To me, it's pretty cool to look at the whole lineup laid out like this, because you can read it like a timeline of where switch trends have gone. The silents are for those who need absolute zero noise for office work or shared spaces, but still want silky smoothness. The Heavy Tactile leans into clacky switches that have become well accepted, and every new variant is lighter than the original, but tellingly, Gateron didn't move on from it. The fact that they use the Oil King as the foundation for every new variant reflects qualities that are timeless and fundamental, qualities that carry over to different preferences. But if you want to explore more thocky or clacky switches, take a look at one of these videos here. For now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.